Well, hello, fellow creeps. Welcome back to another chilling episode of Creepy with Coffee. I'm Kim, your storyteller for the evening. Well, before we get on to tonight's story, first of all, usually, if you don't see I update for a couple of nights, meaning that I am usually out for work, travels. That's why I couldn't update. Well, for this episode, I wanted to do something extra whereby I'm going to pick your comment, highlight it just for a shout out, and also reply to you on video. So for today's comment, I want to say thank you to Papi T, whereby Papi actually has been watching my content either on Creepy with Coffee or Lights Out Ghost Stories. So this one, he said, bro, your stories are nice. Your voice is perfect for the theme. I think being able to see you reading the story will be nicer. Background will be visuals, but you in front narrating. So this, I wanted to say thank you very much to Papi. But what I think I can reply to this would be, usually if you see the video, it's only audio. It's because I want to tell you the story in the shortest time possible, also due to that very limited time that I have for you. But what I'm going to do is I try to come up with at least one video with me in it, telling you the story at least once a week. Do we have a deal? Well, once again, if you wanted to get your comments shout out on the video like this, well, drop it down below in the comment section. For tonight's tale, it takes us to a quiet boarding school in Perak, where a strange accident led to something far more disturbing when a lorry driver mysteriously vanished after a crash. Nobody expected his spirit to come searching for help from a student. Here is a question for you. Do you believe that the dead can reach out for help from the living? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Because tonight's story may just make you think twice the next time you hear a voice calling your name. Now, turn off the lights, grab your coffee, and let's dive into He Asked Me to Find His Body.
This is Creepy with Coffee.
This story happened back in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. I was in Form 1 at the time, attending a boarding school in Perak. That school, let's just say it had a reputation for being keras, or the word that we usually use in Malaysia for spiritually heavy or a haunted place. In fact, that same year, something tragic happened. A Chinese contractor working on our new dorm block, which was still under construction, fell from the 4th floor. He died instantly on site. May he rest in peace. Surprisingly, there weren't any immediate supernatural disturbances after his death. But about a month later, we started noticing something strange. Dried droplets of blood trailing from the exact spot he fell from, leading deep into the bushes behind the dome. Beyond that, nothing major happened, or so we thought. But the real story that I wanted to share happened later the same year. One day, in the year 2007, a bread delivery lorry veered off the main road and plunged into a ravine next to our school's field. For some context, our school was built on the site of a former tin mining area, located just beside a major roadway. Well, for people who listen to this, if you're from Perak, I'm sure you know where this school is. But obviously, we're not going to mention of the school name here on this video. The school field bordered a fairly deep ravine surrounded by dense, overgrown forests that once belonged to the mining area. The spot where the accident happened was a wide, curving bend, one that hardly saw accidents. So when it happened, it caused quite a stir. When the fire brigade, ambulance, and police arrived at the scene, they managed to recover only the lorry's body. The driver was nowhere to be found. I mean, they searched for it. It's just the body of the lorry, of the vehicle. The driver seems like he vanished, or at least probably thrown off from The lorry, when the collision happened, for a whole week, rescue teams searched, but nothing was found. It was like he vanished into thin air. And then something eerie happened. It was one evening after Maghrib prayers. Usually we'd gather at the school surau for a short tazkirah session, right? For those who need more information about this, I think you can Google what is tazkirah. But that night, the electricity suddenly went out. So the session was cancelled. Since everyone was already there, was already gathered at the surau for the tazkirah, everyone just sat around chatting in the dim candlelight and moonlit shadows. That's when I noticed one of my seniors quietly get up and he left the surau. He didn't say a word. He didn't inform anybody around him or, the rest of the group. He just stood up, walked straight toward the school field on his own. I found it strange, but being a junior, I didn't think it was my place to ask or to follow. After all, it's a senior doing his own thing, right? So I ignored it. About 10 minutes later, he came back, shaking all over, visibly distressed, and his face was pale as if he'd just seen something so horrifying. So we get him to sit down, gave him a glass of water, and tried to calm him down. When we asked him what happened, he refused to say anything. And we called one of the wardens who took him aside to speak privately. We couldn't make out of what they said because they were in a corner quite a distance from us. Not until the next day. The next day, word began to spread among the students. Apparently, the senior of mine, who was actually has some Indonesian roots in him and was known to be quite pious, claimed that while he was sitting in the surau that night, when everybody else was there during the cancelled tazkirah time, he heard someone calling out for him. A man's voice, a Malay man's voice. It kept saying, I'm gonna say it in BM first. I'm gonna translate it after this, yeah? The voice kept on saying, Ade, boleh tolong abang tak? Ade, boleh tunjukkan mana mayat abang tak? Ade, tolong abang ade. Curious and a little concerned. Somehow, he seems like he was in a trance. He got up and he followed the voice to the field. And that's when he saw it. A figure of a man, disheveled and partially transparent, standing near the edge of the ravine. He didn't say anything else. When he saw the man just stood there, looking at him with pleading eyes. But somehow, the man's right hand was pointing at a direction. Well, the senior immediately fled, overcome with fear, and returned to the surau, shaking. That's when we saw him. And that very night, he actually told everything to the warden. And that same night, the warden actually contacted the rescue team and told the rescue team what my senior said. Well, with new directions and guidance from the boys' account, they resumed the search. And sure enough, at the direction where the figure had pointed to my senior, they found the driver's body. Finally, when they get to learn about the driver's identity and whatnot, my senior said the man that he saw that night, that was the lorry driver. Well, when they found the body, it was already badly decomposed, bloated, and partially buried beneath thick foliage down the ravine. The stench was unbearable and maggots had already set in. Well, for the deceased, Al-Fatiha. Till today, I still wonder, did the man's spirit really reach out in desperation looking for someone, anyone, to give him that final eternal peace, to guide the living to his resting place? It was one of those stories that lingered long after the body was buried. For us in the dorms, it became one of the many haunting memories etched into the walls of our time at the school. Well, that will be tonight's story. If you enjoyed tonight's story, once again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Creepy with Coffee if you have not yet done so. That would help the channel a lot. So have you your own creepy encounter? Drop it in the comments. And I do receive email from you telling your story. So I'm going to read the one who sent me your email next. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep your coffee close. You never know who might be watching from the dark. For now, good night, fellow creeps.